In this video, I will be answering a writing task 2 question, and I will show you how to get a band 7 or higher. So let's get started. Hi there, this is Mr. Brick, your English teacher from the UK, and on this channel we cover everything IELTS related. Now, in this new series, created this playlist where I will be answering different tasks from the writing section of the IELTS exam. So this is the first video, but I will be creating many more, and I want you to watch me how to write out the perfect essay. So let's get started. This video will be broken down into 3 stages. And in stage 1, we will look at the question. So I will show you that in a moment. And I will break down the question for you. And I want you to see how I do this so you can do it as well. And then in section 2, I will create a plan on how to answer this question. And I think this is probably the most important of the whole essay, because the better our plan is, the easier it will be for us to write out our essay. And then the final section is when you will see me write out the essay live, and I will explain everything as I go along. So get your cup of tea, get a coffee, and let's get started. So here is our questions. Some people believe that school children should not be given homework by their teachers, whereas others argue that homework plays an important role in the education of children. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So this question here is 2 sentences. The first sentence is called a statement sentence. So it's giving us a fact or a bit of information. It's saying some people say that homework is good, whereas other people say it's not so good. That's our statement. And then the second sentence is the task itself. It's your instructions. So the instruction here is discuss both views and give your opinion. So let's read and understand this question in great detail. So in order for us to read this, we must highlight the important parts. So you can watch me do this so you understand what I mean by the important parts. So some people believe that school children should not be given homework by their teachers. So that's one side of the argument. What is that one side? Is that some people believe that school children should not be given homework. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to highlight one side of the argument, school children should not be given homework. Okay, and there's me highlighting it. I underlined it just to make it easier to read. And then it says, others argue that homework plays an important role in the education of children. So I'm going to highlight that as well. So there's 2 things highlighted. Again, it's to summarize one side of the argument that I've highlighted, and then the other side of the argument that I've highlighted. Now let's go on to the instructions. And here it says, discuss both views and give your opinion. Now, this sentence here, this instruction is asking us to do 3 things. Discuss both views. That means there are 2 views. So we need to discuss one view and then the other view. So that's 2 things so far. And then it says, give your opinion. So that's 3 things. So again, give one side of the argument, give the other side of the argument, and then give your opinion. So let's highlight this, okay? Discuss both views and give your opinion. Now, this is something that many people forget, the giving your opinion part. But don't worry, you will see me answer this question, and hopefully you'll learn everything that you need to know to get your band 7 or higher. So let's now move on to stage 2, which is where we will create our plan. Now, as I mentioned before, this stage is very, very important. In my opinion, I think it's the most important part. The better our plan is, the easier it will be for us to write out our essay. So in the plan, what we need to do is get one side of the argument. So in this case, that one side of the argument is why school children should not be given homework, okay? So I want you to think of, why should students not be given homework? Well, I'll write a few reasons here. Now, altogether, we're aiming for around 4 or 5 points between the two sides. So that could be 2 points for why school children should not be given homework, and then 3 reasons why they should be given homework. Or you can swap them around, okay? 3 on this side, 2 on the other. It's up to you, okay? This is like a general plan. So let's think of some reasons. So why school children should not be given homework, okay? Well, I think one reason is that by the time students finish school and they go home, they're going to be very tired. They'll be so tired that they might not even benefit from homework. So that's one reason, okay? Students get tired and won't benefit from homework. Now, notice how I'm writing in note form. And the reason for that is that nobody will check the plan. You don't get marks for your plan. The plan is just for you, okay? Now, you might be thinking, well, if nobody's marking the plan, why should I do it? Well, the reason why you want to create a plan, and the reason why I said it's so important, is because when you're writing out your essay and you're thinking of these points and you don't create a plan, you may forget some very important reasons to back up your argument. So that's why we want to write the reasons down first. So when it comes to writing the essay, we can focus on the other things like writing paragraphs or grammar or punctuation. We don't want to do everything and also have that stress on thinking of ideas at the same time. We want to think of the ideas in the planning stage, okay? So let's go back to our plan. Students get tired and won't benefit from homework. Okay, now the second point that I'm going to add here, and that's just for the sake of this video, is I'm going to add some type of statistic or a fact. And when I say fact, I'm going to make it up, but I'm just going to claim that it's a fact. And let's do this now. Students who went to school with a no homework policy outperformed other students, okay? Now, this I wrote it down as if it's a fact. I don't know if this is true. I've just kind of just made this up. So there's actually a very important lesson here, and that is that if I claim that this is a fact and it's not, that's fine. And the reason for that is because you're not getting assessed on factual information. You're only getting assessed on your writing skills, okay? So bear that in mind. So now we've got our 2 reasons here. Students get tired and won't benefit from homework. That's one reason. And then I can talk about that in a bit more detail in the writing section. So waiting for that. And the second reason is students who went to a school with a no homework policy outperformed other students. Now, I'm going to stop there and we'll now move on to the other side of the argument, which is why school children should be given homework, okay? Now here, for the first reason, I'm just going to say students learn something in school, but when they go home, they get another chance to go over it in a bit more detail without distraction. So students get to look at work in more detail when they go home, okay? Now, again, I've written that in note form. And the second reason, I'm just going to say that students are less likely to get distracted at home because there's no other students there to bother you or distract you. So we'll write that down. Some students study better alone. And next to it, I'm just going to write less likely to get distracted, okay? Now, for the third reason, remember we said there should be 5 points altogether. So there were 2 for the first argument, so 3 here. Now, for the third point and our final point, because remember we said 5 points altogether. So we had 2 for the first argument and then 3 here. For this, I'm going to write students have access to the internet at home. So they can watch YouTube videos or tutorials to assist them, okay? But just to save time, I'm just going to write students have access to the internet at home, okay, to help them study, okay? Now, if I need to add more detail in the actual essay, that's fine. I will just add it later. Now, there's our 5 points done. Now, one important point here. So we have our 5 points. We don't have to use all 5 points in our essay. But the main thing is we wrote down our 5 points if we need all of them. Okay, it could be that we just need 3 of those points or 4 of those points. Okay, but we've got our full 5 points if we need them. So now we're going to move on to the third and final stage of this video. And this is the part that I'm looking forward to. And that is stage 3, where you will watch me write out the full essay. So let's get started, and I'm going to move on to Google Documents. Okay, so we now have Google Documents open, and in front of you, you can see the question. Now, a few important things you must know before I even write out the essay, and that is that a good essay should have 4 paragraphs. So that's what I will write. And those paragraphs are called the introduction paragraph, body 1, which is one side of the argument, body 2, which is the other side of the argument, and then the conclusion paragraph. So what even goes in these paragraphs? Well, I will explain as I go along. So we're going to start with the introduction paragraph, and a good introduction paragraph should only have around 2 or 3 sentences. That's it. We want to keep it short and straight to the point. So let's write a 2-sentence introduction paragraph here. And for sentence 1, all we want to do is rewrite this statement sentence here that I highlighted. We want to just rewrite that, but write it in our own words. Okay? So if you look at the start here where it says some people, I might use the term a number of people or a large amount of people, okay? Maybe not that one, but something along with those lines. So we want to use synonyms, right? So I'm going to rewrite this sentence as sentence 1, okay? Some people believe. I will write many people. Many people believe that high school students should not be given homework, okay? Now, they've used the word whereas here, okay? I don't want to use whereas, so instead I will just use the term while. So many people believe that high school students should not be given homework, while others believe that homework is... now, in the statement sentence, they use the term important role. So I can use that. I can say, while others believe that homework is important, but I don't want to come across lazy to the examiner. I want to show off my writing skills. So instead of important, I will use the synonym vital. So many people believe that high school students should not be given homework, while others believe that homework is, I'm going to write is a vital part of learning. Full stop. So there you go. All I've done here is just rewrote the statement sentence in my own words. That's sentence 1 done. It's perfect. Okay. Now the only thing that we need to do is write the second sentence. Now, what do we do here? In this sentence, and this is the final sentence of the introduction paragraph, this sentence, we just need to explain to the examiner what this whole essay will be about. So you want to show the examiner what you are going to discuss in this essay. And you can write something like this, okay? This essay will discuss whether homework should or should not be given to students, followed by my opinion. Okay, now remember, when we were looking at the question at the start of this video, we said that we need to do three things. We need to discuss both sides of the argument. So that's two things there, one side and then the other side. And then the third thing is we need to give our opinion. So that's why I mentioned here in the second sentence that this essay will discuss whether homework's good or bad, followed by my opinion. So I made that clear. And that's it. That's a perfect introduction. It's not many words. Usually I try to aim for around 30 words. Doesn't have to be exactly 30. I actually don't know how many that is, but I'm sure you can just pause the video and count. And that's it. So we are ready to now move on to our body paragraph. Okay. So what do we do in the body paragraph? Well, in the body paragraph, we discuss one side of the argument. So we're aiming for around 3 to 5 sentences here. So the first sentence is you want to introduce the argument, and then for each point that you mention, you might want to support that with an example sentence or a supporting sentence. So this will make more sense as we go along. So let's start. Okay. On the one hand, comma, many people believe that homework is of no benefit and can, in some cases, cause more harm than good. So I've introduced one side of the argument. So here's that homework is a bad thing. I've introduced that, but this is not enough information. So now I need to add a supporting sentence, okay, where I explain extra information to strengthen the argument. So here we want to talk about that when students go home, they're tired and they can't focus and they'll struggle. So if they do homework at home, they won't learn anything. It will just go through one ear and come out the other. It will be no benefit. So I'm going to write a supporting sentence here. On the one hand, many people believe that homework is of no benefit and can, in some cases, cause more harm than good. This is because, right, so I'm just zoomed in. This is because students spend a large portion of their day studying and participating in after-school activities, okay? So they've completed school, and then on top of that, they stay behind in school to complete extra activities like football or basketball or chess. So this is quite normal here in the UK, and I'm sure in many other countries. So I mentioned that, but that's still not enough. So let's add to it. So when these same students go home after a hard day's work, they often feel tired, okay? So now we're slowly starting to make sense. The only thing I'm going to change here, by the way, is the word, I want to show off my vocabulary. That's how we get those band 7s, 8s, and 9s, okay? One way is to use higher vocabulary words, okay? And higher order vocabulary words, sorry. So I don't want to use tired. I want to use the word exhausted. That's a fancy word. And also, there was something here that I noticed. I used the word students. This is because students spend a large part of their day studying, and then I mentioned students again here. So that's not a good thing. We don't want to repeat the same words over and over again. So this one here, students, I'm going to replace with pupils, okay? So now we've just developed our work now, okay? Right, so I think that's enough for 1 point. But remember, we need to talk about more than 1 point. So we can introduce the second point by using something called a sequence word. So a sequence word is something like firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly. fifthly, sixthly, and this can go on forever. So that's a sequence word, and you get marks for organizing your work. So you will get extra marks for using these type of terms. However, the problem with using these words, these sequence words, firstly, secondly, thirdly, they get quite repetitive. They get very predictable and boring. And so we're going to use higher order sequence words, such as furthermore, or moreover, or another reason. Actually, let's use that. So another reason, and then we can introduce our reason. Another reason as to support this argument is that statistics have revealed, I was going to write shown or displayed, but I think revealed is a nice word. Statistics have revealed that students who attend schools with a no homework policy perform better in exams when compared to those who complete homework on a regular basis. Okay. Reason 2. There you go. Right. So there's our second sentence. And that paragraph is actually perfectly fine. We can add to it if we want to. For the sake of this video, we'll just move on to the next paragraph. So far we've got 2 complete paragraphs. We're now going to move on to paragraph 3, which is the other side, okay, of the argument. And now we want to introduce this side of the argument with a word such as however, or on the other hand. Okay, so let's use that actually. On the other hand, by the way, I will make this document, this writing essay, available I'll put it in the comment section and in the description, so you can download that. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below, and I will try my absolute best to help you. But let's get back to this. On the other hand, others strongly believe that homework is a good thing. Okay. So that's we've introduced the sentence now. So we've introduced the other side of the argument. One thing here though, right, is the word good is a very basic term. We want those high marks. We're not aiming for band 4s or 5s. We're aiming for 7+. So I'm going to replace good thing with the term, on the other hand, others strongly believe that homework is imperative. Imperative just means very, very important, okay? Yeah. So now let's go to our sequence words to introduce the rest of the points. So one of the reasons for this, so here I can write one of the reasons, and then the next point I can write another reason, a second reason. Moreover, these type of words I want to use. So one of the reasons for this is that completing homework, and I'm going to talk about how completing homework gives students the chance to revisit things that they learned in school. It allows them to just strengthen their knowledge. So let's talk about that. One of the reasons for this is that completing homework gives students the opportunity to revisit work which they may have struggled with in school. Okay, so many students, I think I was like this as well when I was in school. We often get nervous to ask a question. If we don't understand something, we might feel embarrassed. So going home and completing homework would give these students an extra chance to go over what they may have struggled with. So yeah, we've introduced this point. Now I want to give an example, because we haven't given any examples just yet. So how do we do that? Well, we just write the term for example, and then give the example. So for example, if a student did not understand a concept in school, he or she will have a second chance to understand this concept when they go home and take a break. Okay? So yeah, once they go home, take a break, and they'll have another chance. Okay? Now I can further add and develop this point if I wanted to. So let's do that, okay? So completing homework will give the time to students to return to their homes, relax, and then complete homework questions when they feel refreshed and more alert. Okay? Now, I've tried to use a wide range of vocabulary there. I've used a comma there, used a supporting sentence, sequence, words, paragraph, everything that you need to get a band 7 or higher. I've introduced it here. Now, all we need to do is move on to the conclusion paragraph. So what do we do here? Well, let's talk about the things that we don't want to do. The conclusion should just summarize the whole essay. So we don't want to introduce any new points. So the points mentioned here, that's it. We're not going to bring anything new here now. And also, if you've noticed, I'm not giving my opinion just yet. Okay? I know some people do this in the introduction paragraph, which is good, which is fine, but I haven't done that yet. So I have to do it here. Okay? And how do we start the conclusion paragraph? You can do this in one of two ways. Very easy. You can write, in conclusion. Oh, I don't know why it came out in bold. But in conclusion, okay, comma. Or you can write to conclude, comma. Okay? Always use the comma. So, to conclude, although the views differ, that means they are different views. Although the views differ regarding children being assigned homework, I would, now here's where I'm giving my opinion, I would strongly argue that home assignments, I've used the term home assignments as a synonym for homework because some of these words are getting very repetitive, and some of these words, including the word homework, it's hard to find a synonym for it. So if you change it slightly, that's fine. So home assignments are imperative to helping students get good grades. And then we're going to carry on. So a good conclusion should just be one sentence. If you want to add another sentence, that's fine. But one sentence is enough. Okay, so I would strongly argue that that home assignments are imperative to helping students get good grades, which will potentially lead students to securing places at their desired universities. So now I've slowly linked it to further education in this case. And there's our full IELTS 7 plus essay. Let's see how many words this is. So I've just added the word count at the bottom here. I don't know if you can see it. But that is, well, the answer is 266 words. Now, that's all you need. Now, remember, the word count for writing task 2 is a minimum of 250 words. Now, some people get very confused with this. They think that the more you write, the more marks you will get. But that's not correct, because you can write 1,000 words of nonsense, okay? Because you wrote 1,000 words doesn't mean you're going to get a higher mark. So how many words should we be aiming for? Well, we know that there should be a minimum of 250. I usually tell my students to aim between 250 to 10 to 20% over. So 10% is 25. So that 250 to 275, you want to aim around there. If it goes a little bit more, that's fine, okay? There's no problem. But that's a good guideline. And that's same for writing task 1 as well, a 10% buffer space that you should be aiming for, okay? Right, so that's our essay completed. And I will be making more regular videos where I answer different questions from writing task 1 and task 2. So if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, pop them in the comment section below. I hope you benefited from this video. Click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Now, there is our essay complete. I will leave the link to this in the description below, so feel free to download that, and I will be continuing to answer different questions from the writing section of the IELTS exam. So if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, pop them in the comment section below. Please click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.